Hi there, Facebook friends. It's Jenny from The Tall and the Short of It, and I'm going to be bringing Betsy on with me here in just a second. We are in two different locations today. I'm in my dining room, and which is also decorated in fairies, if you can't tell. But we are going to get Betsy on here just as soon as I can see her requesting to join me. So today has been crazy rainy. Had to do some highway driving. That was fun. Okay, I see somebody watching. Hopefully that's Betsy. So I'm gonna see if it'll let me. Yes, it's gonna let me add her in here. All right. Whew. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hey. Oh, I forgot to put my headphones in. I'm going to have to go grab those really quick. Talk to him first. Huh? Yes, I'm there.
Okay, you were just cutting in and out.
Okay, I'm going to go grab my headphones.
Okay.
So talk to them.
All right, and guys, if you're chatting with me, I can't see the comments because only Jenny can see those, but how are you guys? I don't know what she has said so far, but I'm Betsy. And sorry, I'm pulling up Facebook over here too, so I can see comments from anybody. Alrighty. I hope everyone's having a good evening, had a good day. Mine involved two 7-year-old boys and a 9-year-old boy. It was a crazy day.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Sorry, I forgot about
right.
that. I noticed when you came on, you had yours in, and I was like, oh no, I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Samantha.
Well, and then
hi, Sherry.
Remember, I can't see.
Betsy can't see the comments, so I'll have to. Hey, Vicky Scott, Jake.
Hey,
we got some peeps on here with us today. Very good.
Well, I'm trying to find it on my computer so I can.
So you can see the comments.
See the comments, sure. But I can't find the live. Oh, I'll get to it.
It's all right. Just keep refreshing the page; it'll come up.
Well, no, I am like saying like it's not.
Oh.
Anyways, it's fine.
Oh well.
I'm going to. Oh, never mind. I know what to do.
All right.
So I heard you say you were driving.
Yeah, I did a lot of driving today.
All over.
I went to Huntington this morning for a project success workshop to talk about the new certificate of completion for high school students with significant cognitive disabilities. And then I also had a doctor's appointment in Fishers. So I was from Huntington to Fishers and back to Muncie, and it's all over the place today.
Oh, Jake, I can't see comments because it's on Jenny's phone. I will never be able to see them. So that's why I have to get on my computer to see them. Only Jenny can see them right now. So
right.
I can see them. I have to follow the live in order to see them.
For sure.
So.
Okay, well, today's topic is IEP hacks. And I'm pretty excited about this because I even learned some stuff when I was doing some research on this. And it's really enlightened me, and I have some stuff to show special ed teachers this fall now. I'm pretty excited. So how many of you watched the video that I posted this morning? So if you've watched it, give us some hearts or comment or whatever. It was the A-text video. So if you got a chance to watch it, I think Sherry, you said you watched it because I know you shared it. That was awesome. Thank you for that. But if you didn't get a chance to watch the A-text video, basically the first hack, and my cat is stalking me right now, by the way. So if a cat like all of a sudden jumps up in my lap, you'll know why.
See, mine's hiding because it's thundering, so he won't join us in this video.
But yeah, our first IEP hack I wanted to talk about today was text accelerators. So basically what that means is we have a lot to type in IEPs, right? And we find ourselves typing some of the same things over and over again, even though we know we're individualizing IEPs for different kids, for, to each student. There are certain things we include in every IEP. And so if you can have a way to get that in there quicker.
Well, let me say this, and not just for someone that maybe isn't, if we have a gen ed teacher or someone that hasn't actually written an IEP.
Right.
And I mean, I've been doing this since what, 2000, I don't know, 8-ish, 9, I don't know. And I would say the fastest I can write an IEP is an hour. And that's
a very
like
simple consult kid.
That's a simple IEP.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very simple IEP, maybe 2 goals, maybe. So having everything in it that I need. So I just want you to understand that that's where we're looking at. Like if it takes us an hour, and then you have to.
Yeah, if you have a caseload of 25, or depending on.
I was wrong. My cat is coming.
Depending on which, how big your caseload is, that's a lot of typing.
And that's just writing it. That's not like going back and double checking and all of the other things. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that's that's how long,
for sure,
or whatever.
For someone that's not familiar with that amount of time, that would be a good thing to know. So basically a text accelerator, if you think back to like when computers, when we I'm going back like 10, 15 years ago, we had this thing called macros you could set up on your computer, where, you could type a certain command and then it would type something automatically for you, or it would put a certain formula in a spreadsheet, or it would do, this is what, old-timey people like me would know the term macro. But a text accelerator, like I said, Betsy's too young for that. But a text accelerator basically allows you to set up, it's almost like when you're texting and you type like LOL for laugh out loud or whatever. It's a short amount of text you type for it to type the entire thing into the text box. So here in Indiana, we have a system called Indiana IEP. And I believe almost every school in Indiana is on it now. I think there's maybe one district that's still holding out or something like that. But almost every district uses that to type their IEPs because it forces us to be compliant. There's every box that's needed for a compliant IEP. And like I said, some of those boxes have information that we have to type over and over again. Like when we type up present levels for a student, we always have to have something about their attendance or their grades or their test scores or, their schedule or progress on goals or, things like that. Those are things we are going to type a template for. And maybe like the smart teachers have already had like a template on a Word document or on a Google Doc, and they just copy and paste back and forth. But with these things like A-Text or there's 2 other ones that, and I can put some of these notes that that we're talking about today into like comments down below with the text, with the links. That way you guys have links to look at each of these things as we talk about them. But A-Text is the one for Mac that was in the video this morning. It's what I found to be really cost effective because you get it for free for 21 days to try it out. And if you like it, you can purchase it for $5. It's $4.99 on the apps. I don't even think it's on the App Store. I think you just go to the website and purchase it. But it basically adds an extension to your computer where you can use these shortcuts in every single, it doesn't even just have to be an Indiana IP. It can be for anything. So, A-Text I found was pretty cost effective if you were going to use it a lot. Text Expander was actually one that was recommended and it works on all types of devices. So Mac, Android, or Windows. But it has a monthly fee to use that one. I think you can try it for free for 14 days or something like that.
Do you know what the monthly fee was?
It's like, I was thinking it's like $5 something a month or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But the beauty of that one is if you are typing IEPs on multiple devices, let's say you have a desktop at home that you write IEPs on and a different computer at school, and you're not carrying it back and forth. Like I do them all on my one device on my laptop.
Sorry, that stop wasn't for
No,
you.
it was for the cat. Um,
He's like he's
right.
trying to get
So
on
if you
top of
have
me.
multiple devices that you're typing IEPs on, then you might want to get one that shares. That way you're not having to add them into every machine. It would sync across all your devices.
It is $333 a month if you do if you want it billed annually, and then $416 a month if you bill
Monthly.
monthly.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So it's a few dollars a month to have that one, but it goes across all your devices. And like I said,
And this one you can try for 30 days.
30 days for free. Okay. But like I said, that one was recommended just from a lady who uses multiple devices to type her IEPs. And I was like, oh, and like I said, I do all of mine on my MacBook. So I wouldn't need it to be across multiple devices. I mean, I don't know that I've ever typed an IEP on an iPad or on my phone. I just would think that would be a little tedious.
Never on my phone. No, I don't know about my iPad, but if I would have used my wireless keyboard if I did.
Yeah.
But.
So, and then Texter is a free one, but it's only for Windows. And so that one works across all applications, but you have to have a Windows machine in order to use Texter. And that one doesn't cost anything at all. But each of them work just slightly differently. In the video I posted this morning, I demonstrated how aText works, and I really liked that one. So I'll probably end up buying that because I can see myself using that quite a bit. But text accelerators are just a way to get down all the template information that you want into a text box, and then you can go back in and individualize. Now, the thing to be careful of, and like I said, a lot of, especially like speech pathologists would like it too, because they could have a template for their reports and for things like where they could type in literally language report or speech report, and it would put all the template in there for them. But you just have to be careful when you go back to make sure you fill in the names and fill in all the spots that you need to fill in.
Right.
And don't leave, if you create a template that has one kid's name and it change all the places you had that name.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that to happen. That's never good.
Well, if I ever do something like that, the place that I want a name,
I would put a blank.
Or that I want like to change information, I usually will try to like put some, I mean, I might make it all caps. I make it something different. And yes, I have to go in and undo the caps. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Right.
But I try, because you never want a parent to
see
think
someone else's name. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
So
bad form, bad optics.
So I try to make it, I think all caps is easier to go back, like when you're going, you just, highlight and then go in it instead of, like if you were to put it in bold or something that takes another extra little step or whatever.
Hey, China. So that's text accelerators. Betsy, do you want to talk a little bit about Google Forms? Because I know you've used Google Forms for data collection and other things too. So
yeah,
just go ahead and I'll let you talk about that.
Okay. Sorry, again, cat is. So Google Forms, I like it for a lot of different reasons, but something else that what makes it nice is it is you can make it pretty easy for the gen ed teacher to give you information, in that you're going to, I feel like often you get more information, or if you do make it easier for them to to put, just easier for them to do. But what you can do is you can just go in and if there's certain things you want, like if you are wanting grades, just go in and you could even put separate, like if say the student is in in middle school or high school, I think you could do like a drop down box, like which
class do you have him for? Yeah.
And what's their grade, or if you want behavior, something that would be nice with this, I think, is that you could say, like, you can do check boxes and check which of these behaviors you see in your classroom. Because I think too, sometimes when we ask questions, they don't know what we are asking for.
Right.
So if we can put the words
Right.
out there like, oh, well, do they do? Because I find like once you're sitting in a conference and you're asking questions and being more specific, a lot of times they might say, oh, yeah, I do notice that. Or so if you're able to type out, and I think really with the behavior piece of it, you can kind of do a generic one for that, like the bigger behaviors that, and then have like a notes box underneath it saying, what other behaviors are you seeing?
Sure.
Or what is really, I think there's just different ways to do it that you can make it so you're not making a Google form for each specific teacher.
Sure.
But also it would, like I said, be nice, like at the elementary level, you don't just have to send it to that classroom teacher. You can send it to the speech therapist. You can send it to the specials teachers. And like I said, it helps, especially for maybe some of those teachers that don't have that, have the words, you know, they can, yes, that's it, you know, when you share that with them. But if you, they may not be able to come right out and say, oh, this is what I see, you know. And it kind of helps you, I think, collect, it can very much help you collect more useful data or information to put in their present, to put in that IEP, yeah, in that present level piece. And then even, you know, however, possibly that could be something, if it could even be a way to progress monitor if you are progress monitoring something outside of your time with them, where, you know, maybe once a week you want to see, did they get to class on time this week? And you just send that every Friday. And so there's other ways to use that other than, like we said, when you're gathering that information from gen ed teachers. But, and it is, I've used it. I will say I was very intimidated by it, I guess, at first, and now I like love it. I use it.
Well, and I think a lot of teachers
could
be intimidated by it too, Betsy, at first. So I think next week when we do our data collection hacks, we'll do a screencast of how to make a Google form. And I think that'll be really helpful to a lot of teachers out there that have never done it before.
And I suggest, like, when I first did it, I just made like a generic, like I just made something and then went in and filled it out and then went in to see what the data looked like. And I did different types of questions, you know, and I did different, I mean, because here's something else, like a lot of times you want the most, say there's multiple behaviors and you know there are multiple behaviors, but you want the one that is impacting their education the most, impacting their and you could, so instead of doing check boxes, you could do multiple choice. So then you have to pick the, you know, what
was the behavior they had the most today? Yeah.
Right. And we're not saying that all of these aren't problems. We're saying which one is
most significant,
impacting them the most, because that's the one you work on first.
Hey, Tammy Drews is watching. I'm telling Betsy she can't see comments.
Well, and now I'm back on looking at the Google form thing. I have been on.
That's okay. All right. Our next hack that we want to talk about today is goal banks. So I have a word of caution on this. And again, disclaimer, disclaimer that these are always our opinions and not the opinions of our school corporation or the Department of Education. Goals are controversial because, number one, they change it on us all the time about how we're supposed to write our goals. Can I get an amen?
And by all the time, she means basically
almost every year we get told by someone else that they want us writing goals a different way. And sometimes I get in trouble because my mouth gets me in trouble because, you know, I may have at some point said, you know that no matter how you make us write this goal, that doesn't change how we teach. And I was called snarky for that, but that's just me.
It's true. Like, I don't,
We're
it's
still going to
true.
teach reading fluency the same way, regardless of how you make us write a reading fluency goal. Most likely. So
And for the most part, I'm going to collect data the same way
exactly.
too.
So, like I said, little disclaimer ahead of time. All the goal banks we're going to share with you guys. Oh, and transition plan, Sherry. Yeah, very true.
Oh, that's why I teach K through 2.
So, like I said, we want to individualize goals for every kid. We don't want to be writing the same reading goal for every kid in our caseload. That is a big no-no. That one I will definitely say no, 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 no. We don't want to be writing the same social skills goal for every kid in our case. I mean, you don't determine kids' goals based on their disability category or based on, they're going to be in my reading class, so they're going to get this goal. No.
Yeah, no.
It has to be what that child's barrier is to reading or to math or to whatever their issue is, or to appropriate behavior or whatever. So we do have to individualize our goals. But that isn't to say that sometimes we don't need to look at a bunch of goals and be like, oh my gosh, this one's close, but I can tweak it. Or I never thought of wording it
Jenny
that way.
Yeah. Right. I was going to say, and that's no different than me calling Jenny or going to one of the other special ed teachers and saying, okay, this is what I want to write a goal for. Help me come up with what word or what's
the best way to say this?
Because sometimes you don't have, because sometimes you don't have access to, I can't call Jenny. She's in a case conference, or, I know the other special ed teacher is teaching, and doing instruction right then. You don't have that access all the time. Or sometimes, so it's another way to do that.
And sometimes you have contracted faculty that aren't getting you goals in a timely manner for their subject area, like as an OTPT or speech. I mean, and that's not always the case, but maybe you have a contracted blind low vision person or a contracted deaf hard of hearing person, and you need to get this IEP written, but you can't wait on them. So I can go look in a goal bank and be like, you know what, this is my kid's issue. I'm just going to write this goal for now. And then if they want to change it later, they can do that. But, so goal banks, I think, are useful just for brainstorming and looking at different ways goals could be written. And just and sometimes for scope and sequence. Sometimes you're like, well, he can do this. What would be the next step? And you can look at a goal bank and sometimes they're ordered in scope and sequence. And that can be helpful. So we're going to post several goal banks here, probably tomorrow. I'll just post all the goal banks tomorrow. But there's some for speech and language. 3 really good ones, I thought. I checked them out through, that's called Speaking of Speech is one of them. Speechy Musings is another one. I love her site. If you're a speech pathologist and you aren't getting Speechy Musings emails and stuff, you should, because they're awesome. And then Speech Room News is the other one. And they have just communication goals and social skills goals for days in there, with all different kinds of ways to word it and how to measure, and sometimes even how you would keep data collection. So I'm like, that's cool. Which ones did you take a look at, Betsy? Because I know you were looking at some of the goal banks.
Well, right now I just went to Speech Musings. I've looked at before when I pulled it up, the hang on, let me see what it says. The one from Oregon. Oh
yeah.
That one's overwhelming to me.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing it before.
Is that the A Day in Our Shoes or the Goals and Objectives Bank?
The Goals and Objectives.
Okay.
I liked no, that's A Day in Our Shoes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. And I'm not saying it's bad. It just, for me, visually, it's overwhelming.
He said there's a lot there.
There's a lot. So, I mean, if you can't find something, that would be the one to go check out. I really liked the Goals and Objective Bank, but I think it's because it's short sweet,
Mm-hmm.
concise.
Right.
Um, and then that's the one I believe that you said. This one is gold.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, the goals and objectives
Yes.
bank.
I don't know if you
I
got a
haven't looked
chance
at
to
the
look at the autism educators one, but I was
no, because I
impressed
looked
with
at the
that one.
executive function. You were, is that what you said?
Yeah, I was impressed with the
Okay. Okay. I
autismeducators.com
just pulled it up.
because it asks you what the child's issue is, and you click on that. And when you finally get to that issue
Okay.
that has the goal, they actually have a resource there for how to teach it, which is
Oh, wow.
cool. Um,
All right.
I
So,
mean, you have to purchase those resources, but it's genius. Because if you
well,
can
and
get if
possibly
you are writing a goal for a
you,
kid and it'll cost you $2 for the activity to use to teach it, I mean, heck yeah, you're gonna and
mhm,
that's what teachers pay teachers is all about too. So
yeah.
I thought that was
Well,
good.
and yeah, I'm sliding through it like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, okay. Well, and are these on Teachers Pay Teachers?
I don't know, some of them might be.
I was just, they just look like it. They,
Mm-hmm. But I just loved how they had it all there
anyways.
for, I mean, there was even stuff for PE and things like that. So I thought that was
Yes, there
cool.
was. Well, here, like I said, I just went, they even have an appropriate behaviors at home. Now, granted,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, we wouldn't write a goal for that,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be good possibly, I mean, for parents to just go and
Mm-hmm.
use, or even possibly like a clinic
Mm-hmm.
to use
If you're
to
doing
like give
counseling or
resources.
behavioral
Yeah, doing
consultant.
resources and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Uh-huh. But they have life skills in here.
Yeah, Sherry. The other name
They
for
have,
that one is Bridges for Kids. Yeah, is the Oregon one. The A Day in Our Shoes is
oh,
also called Bridges for Kids. It has two titles.
oh, well, that's not confusing.
Yeah. Like I said, I will post
But
links to
yeah,
all of these so you guys can check them out. And then the last goal bank I found that I thought was because there are like hundreds of goal banks online. Like literally, if you Google IEP goal banks, you're going to come up with like 100 of them. But these were the top 5 that I found that I thought would be useful to me if I was writing an IEP. So I thought they'd probably be useful to you too. But it's 27 measurable IEP goals for executive function. That one I found brilliant because that is
well,
the hardest thing for me to write goals for is
well,
planning, time management, organization, all the things that
and it even
surround.
gives more information.
Mm-hmm.
Like sorry, I'm looking down because I'm looking at these, but like executive function questions for parents.
Mm-hmm.
Does your child lose things?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you need to explain how to do a task? There's like a few of those. And then questions to ask the teachers. Does the student get distracted easily?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Things like self-advocacy,
oh,
self-monitoring,
yeah.
initiative. I
Can they
mean,
fix
there's
their own mistakes?
yes. I found them to be brilliant. Now, would I
Mm-hmm.
write them word for word the way they're written there? No, but they gave me great ideas for ways I could tweak them for myself.
Well, and I think too, again, it goes back to, I think, like we said, this one's hard. I think it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
pinpoint the goal you want to write with this. And I think this gives you the help getting down,
Right.
kind
Because,
of
I mean, we all struggle.
pinpointing
I
that.
know I struggled as a resource teacher in middle school when I had a kid who he gets passing grades, but he still needs a goal. And this is
Mm-hmm.
kind of his issue, but how do I word that in a measurable goal for him? I think
Mm-hmm.
that website would have been so helpful
Yeah.
in trying to figure those things out for those kids that just get resource services.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
I will say, like, again, like we talked about, you're not going to take these word for word because as I'm looking at
yeah,
these
they're not
goals,
written.
how they're writing them, they're not measurable.
No,
So,
no,
I mean, so
but
you
they're
can't, but
ideas.
it gives you, yes, it gives
Yes,
you that idea piece.
right. And
Because I find even myself, we don't want the goal to be, like we said, they have to be written specifically for each student. But at the same time, you get kind of stuck. And it's not, I mean, yes, it's individual. This is something this child needs. But sometimes I do feel like we kind of start to even year to year, I feel like you're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's a different, you just, I need that expand, I need my knowledge in that area expanded.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of, I can't be by
Well,
myself.
and I'm not going to lie,
would
y'all.
hope not.
Every year I create 6 or 7 goals that I hope to use, and I send them to the Indiana IEP Resource Center and say, hey, is this how you guys want them this year? And they send them back with changes. And then those are the ones I tell the teachers about. But hey, it's reality, what we got to do for compliance, right? Okay, so one last hack.
And then 6 months after we write them, they're not out of compliance
again,
because they've changed it.
But yeah, whatever. So the last hack I'm going to talk about today is behavior plans, because yes, we're writing the IEP itself, but then there's that behavior plan that needs to go out to teachers. Let's not even get started.
Does anyone want to go in there and, hey, does anyone want to go in to talk about IIEP's new behavior?
No, let's not do that, because
section?
I'm telling you right now,
No.
it is a joke and I hate it. There's nothing good about it. So
I think by the end of it, like my eyes were like,
I know.
I was like no, I won't even,
yes,
yeah.
I'm hoping bad. PCG takes care of that. If PCG is listening, please take care of that. Get that out of there. Please make it back compliant with Article 7 only.
For our sanity.
Exactly. So the behavior plan should exist outside the IEP. I mean, we're going to have our problem behaviors, our functions of those behaviors, and our positive supports in our IEP. However, the actual written plan that we hand out to teachers should be a separate document, and you can make templates for those. I know we have templates for tally charts, sticker charts. You can go online and look up sample behavior plans and just Google the crap out of that stuff. And there is more sample behavior plans online than you could spend an entire day looking at. But the ones that I really found useful for upper elementary, middle, high school, I really liked the ones on PBIS World. That's that Positive Behavior Intervention Supports World. A lot of people, I don't know if people actually use those for RTI or not. Maybe they do. But I thought that they were actually pretty good templates for behavior plans, and you could tweak them however you wanted because they're in a way that you could. But don't try to recreate the wheel. I mean, if you've got ones that have worked for you with certain kids, keep those templates and use them over and over again. Your earpod just does not want to stay in today.
Well, they never have come out. I hated that.
Oh.
But I'm afraid I just threw it in my trash can right down here.
Oh, no.
Nope. It's not. It's fine. I can keep just using this one, but as long as it's not in the trash.
All right. Well, that's our hacks for this week. We need to do, did we have 3 hacks that people posted? I think we had 3, maybe 4.
Give me a
second.
second.
Know Jake posted one. We had one from Kristen Landreth. And we had one, Rachel Duckworth posted one, yes.
No relation.
Yeah, no relation to Betsy Duckworth. But we're going to put those names, because those ladies were kind enough to share their hacks with us. We're going to put their names in a drawing, and I will draw for that. And we will put a post up here in just a few minutes after we jump off the live here, telling them which one won the Target gift card. Woo!
Oh, Bridget Dobbs.
Oh, Bridget posted one too?
She posted about like vocab.
Oh, yeah, that's right, with Sidewalk Chalk. Yes, giving Darcy credit, but but Bridget posted. So good job, Bridget. Yeah. So we will put those 4 names into a little raffle app that I have, and whoever's name comes out of that, we will post that up here online, and we'll get the address of the person who wins so that they can get that gift card.
Wait a second. I'm only seeing 3.
Jake did a post outside of that post. So go over,
come on,
under guest posts. Her post was separate from theirs. She posted hers before anyone else did, and then I made the post, and then she.
We spoke about it. I remember. Yeah. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to leave you out.
I saw it, girl.
We even talked
I
about it,
know.
so I knew.
All right. So, thanks so much for joining us this week, and look for the winner of the Target gift card coming up here in just a few minutes once I grab my iPad. And next week we'll be back with data collection hacks. And we'll talk a little bit more about
So
fun
exciting.
ways to collect data. Yay!
Yeah.
We're such nerds. Well, I am anyway. I don't know about you, Bets.
We're just nerdy about different things.
It's true. It's true. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for the tall and the short of it today.
Hey, guys, join the conversation. Share your hacks.
Yes.
Have we missed something? I'm sure we have. Let us know what's something that you do to make your IEP writing easier. I mean, I think having chocolate next to you could be considered a hack.
Could.
That really helps with me.
Chocolate and wine.
Well,
not at school.
As long as you're not at school.
Not at school.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.